Hey coin collectors, Dan the Collecting Man here. Today we're going to talk all things PNCs. So what are PNCs, a little bit about the history, what are probably some of the best ones to collect and which ones are sought after, what are some of my favorites, and also how you should store them, some of the ways I look after them to make sure they look pristine and keep them in good condition. And also which ones that potentially aren't as collectible. So which ones you'd buy only because you enjoy them for a personal reason, but not looking for a profit or return. Also looking about some Privy postmarks as well, what to look out for there, and some other information, websites, and also books that are out there in the market to give you some more information of what are collectible PNCs to look out for. Let's start into what is PNC. What does it actually mean? So there's a couple of different ways that people like to describe it. The key one that most people call it is postal numismatic cover. Another one that people like to call it is philatelic numismatic covers. So philatelic is the collecting and studying of postal and imprint stamps. So that's the kind of philatelic point, but most people like to name them as postal numismatic covers. So that's the kind of key name for it. So that's where you've got obviously your stamp and your numismatic, which is your coin within the one kind of envelope. So personally, I do love PNCs from the art and design, especially if you get some really cool ones with some really nice artistry on there. You can get some really cool stamps. Like these ones have got the golden stamps and the way they've got the coin, they can come out and pop really, really well if they're done properly. So if you get some of these that have come out really nice, they can really pop and really bring the coin and the stamp to life a bit more and give some more meaning behind them. Instead of just having a coin individually or a stamp by itself, I think this unique way of combining the two together can be really nice. So they all started way back in 1994. So this is the very first PNC that was ever sent or put out into the Australia Post. This is the year of the family 50-cent coin. So you got your stamp and your 50-cent coin. Pretty high mintage on this one. So this one is still very, very affordable from a PNC point of view. So if you're looking to collect them from way back, they do release a lot of PNCs now. So way back when they used to do it, they only used to do a few a year, so they were quite limited. But now there seems to be a whole raft of PNCs. So personally, I think the ones that I always like to look to collect, the ones that for me are probably the most from a financial and collectible point of view, is definitely your coloured $2 coins. They often come around Remembrance Day. So these are your Remembrance Day $2 coins with a stamp. The special edition where it's 1101 and individually numbered, they are the ones to collect. So they are definitely some of the good ones. Probably the most collectible ever PNC, the one that people like the most, is this 2012 $2 poppy. So I've taken the poppy out of this one. But just in this condition, you're looking around $800 to $1,000 for this PNC. Now it's been graded at a reasonable score. This is probably at least $1,500, if not to $2,000, just this coin alone. And with the PNC, so these ones back then were individually numbered up to 20,000. So they're pretty cool to have these. So I do have predominantly most of all the $2 coloured coin different PNCs. I always think they're pretty unique to collect, and I do like having all of those. And there's some really good designs on these ones, so I love these. This one looks pretty cool. You can see them. Definitely this one with the field of poppies is always nice, and here's the one with a special anniversary of 50 of the change of currency. So another good one that I personally like to have is 50-cent coins seem to be quite collectible. So often you'll have your lunar series like these ones. So expecting the Year of the Dragon to come out, which would be quite collectible. These ones here I always like to have. These are the Queen's coronation. Here you've got the golden Jubilee coronation. Then we've got the diamond, and then we've got the platinum. So you've got the special coin with the stamps. I think that's really, really cool with these stamps in there. And this one was the special release from the ANDA Melbourne Money Expo in 2022, which is the year of her passing. So I think that one's even more significant. You've got the Melbourne stamp on there, and you've also got a very limited number of 750, and this is a nice low number. So I think this one's pretty cool, and I definitely like having these three. These are all the three that were ever made. So for her coronation. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is storage of these PNCs. So I personally like having, I've got this special box, I'll show you now. So this is this massive little box you can buy from the Australia Post. Looks really cool, and you can open them up, and then you've got all your PNCs nicely sorted out in here. Also keeps them nice and dry. So you can buy these from the Australia Post website. I often put the top end, more expensive ones in there, and it's just a nice way to find them and show them off. I always make sure that my PNCs come in these little plastic covers, so if you don't have any of these covers, make sure you buy them. It just keeps it nice and safe. It stops the edges from denting and scratching, because that's the last thing you want. So you're often, nowadays when they sold within these, but some of the older ones might not have those, so make sure you do put them in there just to keep them safe from scratches and safe from any of the corners getting dinned. So also things you want to look out for on some of these special ones is you have what's called a Privy mark. So this is where a coin has been released, but they've also put a special little Privy mark on the coin. So you can see here there's a little envelope within the actual coin. So here's another one here. This is the 2023, and you can see to the right here there's another little envelope. So these are special coins. So there's around, this one's 7,500, and again this one's around 7,500, where these coins are minted just with that special little Privy mark on the actual coin, which means the only way to get it was through the Australia Post through these coins. So they're pretty cool and significant to collect. Also, the Melbourne Money Show, these are the ones that were released out of the Australia Post. So not the ANDA ones like this. So these are the Perth Mint ANDA ones. These are the Australia Post releases that they often do. These ones are extremely collectible. So you've got two different color foils, which is what they have. So, and you'll notice that there's different numbers. So they're up to 400, but what they did is 200 for day one, 200 for day two. So in the green foil, which is day one of the show, and you'll see that it's the 10th of February on there, they did 0 to 199. And then on day two was 200 to 400. And you can see there it's the 11th of February. So with the red foil. So they often have these for the Melbourne Money Show specifically. And these Crux ones are obviously probably the most collectible ones. They're going for roughly $200 each. Not bad when you spend about $30 odd on them to buy them in the first place. So definitely very collectible and cool ones to have. So ones to avoid, unless you're buying it because it has some sentimental value or some meaning, or you really like the design of it, is often find the Perth Mint special coins like these ones here. This is the Queen's 80th birthday. It's just a special coin that's not been kind of released into circulation. So any of these ones where the coin's been made special but never been going to be released into circulation, I find they don't have as much collectible value. Same with these ones. These are the lunar ones where you know these coins aren't going to be released into circulation or not being copied into circulation. You'll find that they're not as collectible. Where if you get the ones that are released into circulation, I do find like these ones here, the 50-cent ones and the $2 ones, they're definitely the ones that create more collectability, and people seem to look after them and try to find them. There's also some great websites that can give you some information, especially on the early days. It's very hard to find good information on PNCs, what the mintages are, what the kind of values of these are. There's also a great book called The Essential Reference Guide to Postal Numismatic Covers. So that's a really good book that's only been released in the last year that can give you a really good complete guide between the different PNCs. So for me, definitely stick with the Royal Australian Mint coined ones. They're definitely, for me, the most collectible. I'll avoid the Perth Mint coined PNCs unless it's something that you're personally fond of or something that you're looking to collect for yourself. And always make sure you keep them in some good storage, out of the sunlight, out of the moisture. And if you want to, you can always take the coins out like I have with this one here and send the coin off the grading. So obviously, if they're high value, high end kind of coins, these are definitely ones that you can take out and send off the grading, and they'll add a lot more value to coin, but only if you think it's worth it. But for me, I love the designs and I love kind of seeing coins presented in a different light. I do have a stamp collection, but I'm more of a coin collector. I'd love to know what your favorite PNC is. Is there a certain series or a certain design that's your favorite? Please put in the message to share for everyone else down below. It'd be great to hear and learn from other people's PNC collecting. I also have this card from the Melbourne Money Show, PNC Collectors Australia, another great person that I ran into at the Melbourne Money Show who does PNCs. So if you want to reach out to Steve and have a look at his Facebook page there, if you're interested into PNCs, they definitely can be quite fun to collect, especially when they get released. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want more videos on coin collecting. Thanks so much for watching and joining the coin collecting community. I'll catch you in my next video. Dan.